Greetings, YouTube pipe smokers. PlanxtyPipes here with another video. Thought tonight I would maybe shed a little light on my YouTube channel named PlanxtyPipes. Tell you where I came up with that and what it means. Now, so that you don't have to sit through an entire long video, if you're not really that interested, I'll just tell you up front, PlanxtyPipes comes from a band name. There's a band in the 70s, and 80s, an Irish band, and their name's Planxty, if you haven't heard of them. They're classic Irish band. Kind of Irish traditional music mixed with folk music, kind of a more modern for the time spin on Irish trad, which I absolutely love, traditional Irish music. So Planxty is a band that I got into maybe a year or so ago and just kind of got obsessed with. Love the band. And so when I was starting up my YouTube channel, decided to use the name Planxty in the channel name. So that's the short version of where the name came from. The long version's a little more involved, and it has to do with why I got into traditional Irish music and kind of how I came into discovering Planxty and that kind of stuff. It all kind of started in the mid-2000s. About 2005, 2006, I had a friend named Trevor, still a friend of mine, and we try to get together a couple of times a year and smoke pipes. Because he's also a little bit of a pipe smoker. And he and I were talking one day, and we're both musicians. He's a keyboard player, and I'm a guitar player. And we were playing together quite a bit at the time. And we were talking, and Christmas was coming up. Or maybe it had just passed. Anyway, I know that he had gotten as a gift a pipe, I think from his wife, because he wanted to try smoking a pipe. And I had been considering smoking a pipe myself. My grandfather smoked a pipe, and I remember my mom telling me stories about that and just being kind of intrigued with that. So it was in the back of my mind, and I was a cigarette smoker at the time, and I was trying to kick the habit of cigarettes and thought, well, maybe smoking a pipe would be good. If nothing else, it's a little more contemplative, maybe a little more genteel than cigarette smoking, so I thought I would give it a go. And so I was considering buying a pipe, and he told me that he had just been gifted a pipe and had smoked it a couple times and really liked it. And that kind of sealed the deal for me. I mean, if I had a friend who smoked pipes, and it would give me someone to smoke with, and we hung out a lot anyway, I figured, why not? Cilantro, got a pint of Guinness here. St. Patrick's Day's coming up, and they had it on sale at the local grocery store, so I had to pick it up. Love drinking Guinness when I smoke a pipe, and it's kind of all related to the story that I'm about to kind of relate. Oh, before I get too far in, smoking my Castello Sea Rock Briar, shape number 17. It's a little pot with a saddle bit, and I'm smoking Dunhill's 965 in it. Good, a lot of Kia blend. Goes well with Guinness, which is why I'm smoking it. So my buddy Trevor and I went to Tinderbox and bought a pipe. And we started getting together to smoke our pipes every once in a while. And the place that we liked to go at the time was a little Irish pub, well, not a little Irish pub, a fairly large Irish pub here called Rira. At the time, here in North Carolina, you could smoke a pipe, or, well, you could smoke anything, smoke cigarettes or cigars as well in bars. And so we would go and we would have dinner and we would smoke our pipes and just hang out and talk and just enjoy the atmosphere. It's a really cool bar. So that's where my love of pipes really developed. And a couple times we would go there on like a Sunday afternoon, evening, maybe around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, something like that. And on Sundays, they would have traditional Irish music. We would go and we would smoke our pipes and we would listen to trad music. And I just got really into it. I don't know, something about it just struck a chord with me. And I just really started to enjoy it. And so I started, in my time away, looking for traditional Irish music to listen to. And one of the first bands that really caught my attention was the Chieftains. And I started listening to them all the time. I bought a best of the Chieftains albums, and I listened to it in my car all the time. And it was kind of funny because up until that point, the only music that I really was into was rock and roll. I shouldn't say that. I like pop music. I like country music. I like a little bit of hip-hop music. I mean, it's just, I can find something that I like in almost anything, being a musician myself. I can find something that's worthwhile about almost anything. Classical music, I like to a small extent, but I don't listen to a lot of it. But I appreciate it for what it is, because it's phenomenal. But the only stuff that I really listened to a lot on my own was rock and roll. And for some reason, I didn't even really like acoustic instrumentation that much. I mean, I wanted my electric guitars to be loud and, you know, out front. Being a guitar player, I guess that makes sense. And traditional Irish music is nothing like that. They play jigs and reels and hornpipes and all kinds of different music that has different time signatures than your standard like 4/4 rock and roll or 6/8 rock and roll music. This was something that sounded so totally different to my ear, but something so recognizable and pulled on my heart in a way that nothing else had. And the acoustic instrumentation just kind of lent to it. There's something kind of mystical and magical about it that I just don't find in too many other music types anymore. And so through getting into the Chieftains and really kind of digging into some of the traditional Irish music and starting to get an ear for it, and then after that I just started branching out and listening to other bands like the Bothy Band or Didana, Lunasia, just a bunch of kind of modern twist traditional band. So about a year ago was when I really started getting into Planxty, when I first discovered them. Andy Irvin was the mandolin player, and he, as a young man, traveled to Bulgaria and spent some time there. And he picked up a lot of Eastern European influences in his playing. And so he really fell in love with Bulgarian folk music and brought some of that back and mixed it in with traditional Irish music, because there's a lot of similarities between Bulgarian folk and Irish music, being traditional music styles, but there's also a lot of differences. So a lot of the time signatures in Bulgarian music aren't the same time signatures that they use in traditional Irish music, but they work really well together. And it gives the music, they'll do transitions into kind of more Eastern sounding stuff that it just takes it to a different level that a lot of traditional Irish bands don't have. the bouzouki player in Planxty was Donald Lunny, and he is another fantastic musician who's also a great producer and a great player in sideman roles in various Irish bands. He and Christy Moore from Planxty went on and eventually formed another band called Moving Hearts that was a fairly famous Irish rock band that mixed Irish traditional music with rock music. So he and Andy Irvin really worked on that counter melody, counterpoint style bouzouki mandolin interplay that, to me, is what makes them very unique. They, instead of using fiddle and flute to be kind of the main melodic instruments, they used bouzouki and mandolin to do a lot of the main melodic heavy lifting. Bouzouki kind of would float back and forth between a rhythmic instrument and a melodic instrument. And the mandolin can be used in much the same way. So they would be able to really drive things rhythmically when they wanted to, but also really play intricate melodic sections playing off of each other and kind of weaving those instruments together in a really unique and very pleasing way. And then they had Liam O'Flynn, who is a virtuoso uilleann pipe player, just incredible uilleann pipe player that would he did several solo pieces on every album, and the uilleann pipes are almost like the Irish organ. They were used a lot in church music. By churches that couldn't afford organs, they would accompany the worship with uilleann pipes, because uilleann pipes are melodic and rhythmic all at the same time. They have the melodic chanter that you play kind of the melodies on, but then they also have droning pipes like normal bagpipes do, and keys that allow you to play chords. So you can kind of have many different things going on at once with the uilleann pipes, fleshing things out. And then they had Christy Moore, who would play guitar or bodhran or even keyboards a little bit to kind of just kind of weave in other different sounds, non-traditional Irish sounds that that just make the music very unique. And they're more widely used now, but at the time I think that it was groundbreaking and blew people's minds in the 70s. And so then on top of that, you have Andy Irvin and Christy Moore, who are two of the great Irish singers, balladeers and songwriters. And the music's traditional without being traditional. I know that sounds kind of strange, but it's rooted in very traditional Irish music, but it's also rooted in folk music and rooted in Bulgarian folk music, and just very interesting. And so that's kind of where the name PlanxtyPipes came from, just my love of the band Planxty. And they're a band that I listen to all the time now, almost every day. I listen to something of theirs. Every album's good, worth getting. At one point, they brought in another guitar player after Christy Moore left the band. At one point, they brought in a guy named Paul Brady, who's another fantastic, just fantastic Irish musician, guitar player, singer. And he and Andy, after Planxty broke up, they did an album together called Andy Irvin, Paul Brady, that is another phenomenal album. It's just, every song on it is great. it sets a mood. The first 2 songs on that album just knock me out every time I hear them. They just give me goosebumps. They're so incredible. And so when I was thinking about naming my YouTube channel, I was thinking back on all the things that kind of I associate with pipe smoking, and traditional Irish music is one of those. And recently, getting into Planxty, I liked the way that Planxty, the name sounds and looks. It's just kind of interesting word. And so I took the band name and put it with pipes, and PlanxtyPipes is what you get. So that's kind of how I came up with my name. A little bit about traditional Irish music and my love of it. I can't really say that I've listened to much else in the last couple of years. I just got really into that traditional Irish stuff, and anything else that I listen to, I can listen to and enjoy it for a while, but I always come back to the Irish traditional music. There's just something about it that just really moves me in a way that a lot of music doesn't, which is kind of strange coming from a rock background, but it just got its hooks into me. So that's a little bit about my name, a little bit about the band Planxty, a little bit about traditional Irish music. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the people that have subscribed. I'm trying to put out as much content as I can as I come up with new ideas. If you have ideas for videos that you'd like to see, or things that I've talked about that you want me to expand on, I'm happy to do that. Happy to interact, and I'm really enjoying doing this. So thank you for watching, and thank you for giving me an outlet for these videos. So yeah, hope you all had a great day, and I hope to see you soon.